Today, I'm sending my sim to art school and I'm going to show you how I do it. The only pack you need for this is Get Together, and you don't need any mods. It's using the game's club system in order to basically make an art school. And just a quick little update, I recently went to Hakone for my birthday. I live near Tokyo, and this is a very quick trip that I was able to do for a couple of days recently. So here are some cute pictures from the trip. But now let's go into the game and start our art school adventure. This is the sim we are playing with today. Her name is Mina. She's actually pregnant right now, but she's only in her first trimester. So here is how I set up the art school. I'm in the Cospa Gallery in San Myshuno. You could do this in any museum or arts center or some kind of community center, even a rec center would work. But I'm doing it in the museum and I've set up an art school upstairs. This is one that I built using a lot of gallery art. So you can download this museum from the library if you want. I'll put my gallery ID on the screen now. But the version on the gallery is just more art up here. It doesn't have these little classrooms. So maybe I'll actually re-upload it and you could download this version if you want. So using the club system, I have these 3 classes and you can only have your sim in 3 clubs at the same time. I'm sure there's a mod to get around that, but if you're not playing with mods or you just don't feel like looking for that particular mod, then it's 3 classes. And so I have a painting class, a craft class, and a music class. And of course, you can make these pretty much anything you want. Just looking at the club activities available, you can make classes for acting, dancing, painting, singing. You can make a club activity for basically any skill in the game. But to decide who her classmates are, I kind of had to go about it in a couple of different ways. You could make your club requirement be based on skill level. So, for example, this class is level 2 or higher guitar. That's the requirement to be in the music class. Or you could have it be based on a trait like art lover or music lover. But for the trait requirement, it has to be a trait that your sim also has, or else your sim can't be in the class. So, you kind of have to play around with it a little bit and see what works best to give you a variety of classmates for your sim to meet. Mina is here. She's going to start painting. I'm going to have Mina do a landscape painting, and the other classmates should be making their way up here. Yes, they are coming upstairs. Something else I do to make this art school idea work is that I click on the door and I click allow access to club painting class members, or whichever class it is. And then only the sims in that class can come into the classroom. So that makes it so that random sims can't come in here and take up the easels and stuff like that. I'll show you the little classrooms while she's painting. So here is the painting classroom. And then this is the craft classroom. I have cross stitching and woodworking as the skills here. So here's the cute little craft room. I love this one because they all just sit in these little chairs and work on their cross stitching and they talk while they're cross stitching. So it's really cute. And then here is the music room over here. It gets a little bit chaotic because they're all playing different instruments at the same time. Here is her little painting. And then she's talking to one of the other classmates. So usually once my sim has done 1 or 2 things, like for example, once she finishes a painting, then I just have her socialize with the other classmates. So she's talking to these 2. I don't know where this guy is. What are you doing? Oh, he's painting too. He's just painting on a mural outside. Okay, cool. He's still doing the art class basically. All right, nice. This is cute. So I have the classes go for like ideally an hour, but with the amount of time it sometimes takes sims to show up for a club meeting, like maybe I start the gathering, but it takes them 20 minutes just to show up on the lot. Or sometimes I even have to summon them to the lot. So by the time they get there, it's maybe like 30 minutes into the class. So my sim gets a little bit of a head start on her skill because obviously I care more about her than the other sims. So she starts her skill and I wait for everybody to get there. So usually the classes last about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I think around 9:30, I'm going to end this one. I think I've been having her sell stuff on Plopsy, so I'm going to have her do that also. Then I'm going to end the gathering and I'm going to start up the next gathering for the crafting class. But the thing about ending these gatherings is that the other classmate Sims will probably just leave these paintings here. So you might have to have your Sim come in and just scrap the paintings, or you can just like shift click and destroy object if you want. But I'll probably just have her come in and scrap these paintings later once these Sims have left. That's just like a little bit of a maintenance thing to keep up the art school vibe. Next up is the crafting class, and I'm gonna have my Sim scrap this woodworking thing. And then because if there's only one table open, then barely any of them will get a chance to do any woodworking. This is probably left there from the last time I was doing the craft class. So we're going to start with crafting something. I think I was having her do the sculptures. Let's do the dragon sculpture this time. And by the time she's like halfway through with that, the other club members will probably have made their way up here. At first, I tried to do this class with the knitting skill. Well, I actually had all three activities. I had woodworking, cross-stitching, and knitting. But with knitting, they have to have the knitting basket thing in their inventory. And because this is like a community lot, they couldn't do that. So I don't really know how you run a knitting club in The Sims. Does it just have to be like your family members or something? I don't really know how that works. But with cross-stitching, it works. So this guy just grabbed a little cross-stitching hoop and he's starting. I have a little rocking chair here too. I love this little area, especially when they all sit together and just start chit-chatting. This is probably my favorite class out of the three. So she's almost finished up with her woodworking, and I think most of the classmates are here. Maybe just like one is missing. Here's the last one. And then so everybody's here. I love doing kind of active careers in the game, but I love making them my own. So I love having my Sims do something from home where I basically give them a routine or a schedule or something, and then it feels like they're actually in school or at that particular type of job. So I really love doing that for my Sims. That's how I got the idea of having this art school. Oh yeah, she has some stuff on Plotzy already, and I have some paintings that I'm going to keep for her baby's room once the baby is born. But she finished her sculpture, so now it's time to cross-stitch. And cross-stitching does take a while. So I have been doing the small hoops only. And then you have a lot of time in your Sims day and stuff, and you're not worried about like their pregnancy and things like I am with this Sim, then you could probably do a medium or large hoop. But I'm just gonna stick to the small hoop. Let's do a pumpkin because it's fall in my game right now. And as far as making it feel real with tuition and things like that, there are the little costs that your Sim has to do. Like for example, it was 80 simoleons to start this cross-stitching pattern, and you have to pay for the paintings and stuff too. So that kind of feels like tuition. But on top of that, you could just buy the skill books from a bookshelf or computer or whatever, and basically make it feel like those are your Sims textbooks for the art school. I like doing that in my game too. Oh, they're all talking in here. It's so cute. This Sim is kind of rich, if you didn't notice. So she doesn't have to worry about tuition costs and things like that. But I did buy the skill books for these classes, so those are in her bookshelf back home. With other Sims, it could feel like a bit of a struggle if you make your Sims purchase those skill books, and also they have to pay for paintings and cross-stitching and things like that. Then it will really feel like they're paying a tuition. And also something else you can do to make it feel like tuition is if you have any food stalls, or for example, there is a little cafe thing down here, you can hire the staff. And I usually hate that our Sims have to do that. Like, I wish they would just show up without my Sim having to pay 100 simoleons for them. But with a situation like this, where I want to feel like my Sim is spending money for her art school, I will sometimes hire them, and then that will feel like tuition. I do the same if I send my Sims anywhere that looks like a hotel, but it's just like a community lot and there are beds upstairs. I'll hire vendors for the different food stalls and things on the lot, or any bars. If there's a bar, I'll hire a bartender, and I'll pretend that that was the fee for the hotel. So I'm going to speed through until the end of the crafting class, and I think this class is what makes my Sims day go a little bit long, because the cross-stitching does take a while. But depending on the skills that you choose, it might not take that long. The woodworking and the painting didn't take that long. I'm going to end this gathering and start the next one. So let's start music class. And then while we're waiting for everybody to get here, I'm just going to scrap the paintings. I'm going to have her scrap the woodwork also. And then I'm going to have her go to the bathroom. And by the time she's done all of that, all of the classmates will be there for the music class and she can just join in. This guy from the craft class is just here, still working on his little cross stitching hoop. Since there are so many instruments here and these Sims have taken these ones, I kind of just wait and see what the others have taken up. And then I'll just go to whatever is available and then move around when the other Sims leave other instruments. I usually don't make my Sim do every single instrument every single day during the music class. One annoying thing about violins in the game is when your Sims place them down, they always place them facing like the opposite direction from how they pick them up. And if you have your violin against the wall, then they'll put it like against the wall in a way that you can't pick them up. I'm gonna move the violins. Maybe I'll just move it like here instead. And the guitars, it feels like they're in the way right now, but with the way Sims place them down after using them, that might be best. A lot of stuff opened up now, so I'm gonna see what I want her to work on. Violin, she's only level 2. Singing, level 3. Guitar, level 3. So let's work on violin. Oh, she's enjoying hearing this Sim play piano. So when I first started doing the art school, obviously everybody had really low skill levels. So it was, interesting. But they're getting a little bit better now. They're probably all around like level 3. So it sounds okay right now. She's still level 2 violin, so she does not sound okay right now. Yeah, she's embarrassed. So it's almost 4 p.m. and there's no like progress bar with the music, of course. So sometimes I'll just go until they reach the next skill level, or with the higher level skills, maybe until like halfway through or something. So I'm just going to speed through until she gets to the next level, and then that will be it for her school day. I have noticed in the music class, that's the one where it's a little bit harder to talk to the other classmates. So I kind of have to make an effort myself a little bit near the end of the class. So I think I'm going to have her just talk a little bit, because the other classes, they start just talking to each other while they're doing the activities, but they can't do that while they're playing music. So you kind of have to try a little bit if you want them to talk to their music classmates. Let's do enthuse about violins since we're in here. And they're both playing violin. Okay, cool. Well, she's been talking to them for a little bit, so I think that's a good place to end the school day and end the video. So the main points here were to use the club system, to lock the doors for only your club members to be able to use each classroom, and to buy skill books and hire vendors and baristas and things like that for the lot, so that it feels like your Sim is paying tuition. And also, I guess another point is to choose your classmates either based on certain skill levels or traits that you might have. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you try out playing different school types in The Sims. Maybe if it's not an art school, you could have like a gardening school and have your Sim spend all day there working on stuff, talking to other cartooners, researching, reading skill books, things like that. That's just another idea that you could use this kind of system for. It's really fun, and it makes me feel like I'm much more immersed in my Sim's life. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe so you can see when I post more. And let me know if you've done anything similar to this in your own gameplay, or what you would think of the idea, or anything you might suggest adding to it to make it better. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!